Okay, take a quick look at your desk right now. You've probably got a mouse, right? And maybe a pair of earbuds sitting there. Super standard stuff. But what if one was actually hiding inside the other? Let's dive into what that's all about. It sounds like a pretty simple question, doesn't it? But it actually gets to the very heart of where technology is headed. We're so used to our gadgets having just one job. But let's be real, we're all constantly multitasking. So why can't our tools be just as flexible as we are? And here it is. This is the answer. At first glance, it looks like a completely normal, maybe even boring office mouse. But you pop the top cover, and bam, a full pair of true wireless earbuds tucked away inside, charged up and ready to go. No extra case to lose, no extra cable to untangle. So what is this thing officially? This is the Honor Choice MouseBuds Pro, and it's basically a whole new category of gadget that's trying to solve a very, very modern problem. Just having way too much stuff cluttering up our desks and our bags. You know, one tech site came up with the absolute perfect name for this, a device kangaroo. And it just makes so much sense, right? The mouse's body is literally the pouch, carrying and powering its little earbud joeys inside. It's such a great visual for this kind of hybrid design. The whole point here is to make things seamless. You just lift the magnetic top, and there are the buds. You pull them out, and if the mouse is already connected to your computer, the earbuds connect automatically. No fumbling around in your Bluetooth settings. It's all designed to be one smooth motion, from scrolling on a spreadsheet to hopping on a call. All right, so how does it actually juggle being two things at the same time? Well, it uses this really clever dual mode system. So in computer mode, you plug in just one single USB dongle, and that one little thing handles both the mouse and the earbuds. Super simple, super stable. But what if your phone rings and you need to take a call? You just press a button, and the earbuds instantly switch over to smartphone mode. They connect to your phone using regular Bluetooth, totally separate from the mouse. And that right there, that's the whole magic trick, seamlessly jumping between work on your laptop and life on your phone. Now, when you look at the specs, you can really start to see the trade-offs they had to make. The mouse is, well, it's a solid office mouse. Standard optical sensor, quiet switches, nothing too fancy. But the earbuds, they're actually packing some pretty impressive tech, like adaptive active noise cancellation. And the whole thing is powered by one big shared battery that Honor says can last up to 30 days. So, this all leads us to the million-dollar question, right? The great debate everyone's having. Is this thing a work of absolute genius, a brilliant evolution of tech, or is it just a weird gimmick that's destined to end up in the back of a drawer? Okay, so in the genius corner, the argument is all about convenience, and you can't deny it. Less clutter on your desk, one less thing to charge, and your earbuds are always right there when that unexpected video call comes in. But the gimmick side raises some really valid points. For one, it's a single point of failure. If your mouse breaks or the battery dies, well, so does your earbud charger. And what about when you leave the house? If you want to listen to music on your commute, you gotta bring the whole mouse with you. And let's talk about performance for a second. That 1200 dpi sensor in the mouse? Look, for your everyday office work and browsing the web, it's totally fine. But if you're a gamer, a graphic designer, or anyone who needs that pinpoint precision, it's just a non-starter. And that's the key here. It's making a very clear compromise on mouse performance to make this whole hybrid thing work. You know, I think Tech Radar really just hit the nail on the head with this quote. It's a great way to think about it. This isn't a 50-50 split. It's a mouse, first and foremost, that just so happens to have a very cool extra feature. And honestly, framing it that way really helps manage your expectations. Okay, but let's zoom out a bit, because whether the MouseBuds Pro itself becomes a huge hit or not isn't really the most interesting part of this story. What it represents, now that's a much bigger deal for the future of tech. See, this isn't just some quirky one-off gadget. It's actually the latest step in a decades-long quest to weave technology more and more seamlessly into our lives, to move from giant, clunky backpacks to computers that basically hide in plain sight. And this idea has been around for ages. It really started way back in the 60s with wearable computers designed to predict roulette wheels. Then the 90s gave us those bulky, kind of sci-fi head-mounted displays. But the real game changer was around 2005 when the smartphone came along and packed all these powerful, low-energy chips and sensors into our pockets. And that's what brings us to today, where we're seeing that same exact tech getting squeezed into everyday things like a mouse. I mean, just look at this thing. This is the Cubic. It's a computer you wore on your belt from back in 2004. Yeah, it was bulky, but the fundamental idea is exactly the same. integrating computing power into something you already carry around. The MouseBuds Pro is really just a much more elegant and practical version of that same dream. Today, researchers basically sort all these integrated devices into three main buckets. You've got your smart accessories, and that's exactly where the MouseBuds Pro fits, right alongside smartwatches and smart glasses. Then you have smart clothing, with sensors woven right into the fabric. And then there's the really futuristic stuff, like smart on-skin patches that work like temporary electronic tattoos. So why is all this happening right now? Well, because our digital lives are messy. We're constantly switching between laptops, phones, video calls, music. It's a lot. And the goal of these new devices isn't just to be clever. It's to create practical, real-world tools that reduce that friction and can actually adapt to our kind of chaotic hybrid workflows. It's all about making technology finally work for us and not the other way around. And all of this leaves us with a really fascinating final thought. I mean, if a mouse and a pair of earbuds can merge into one single device, what's next? Could your keyboard start wirelessly charging your phone? Could your monitor become the central hub for your entire smart home? The lines between our gadgets are getting blurrier and blurrier, and the future of tech might just be hiding in the most ordinary objects sitting on your desk right now.